Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Thursday, the 16th of March. Well, these selections will be for Cheltenham only. So, a quick recap on Wednesday's performance. Well, apart from, I believe we should have had the winner in that, is it Compound, something like that. It was 20 to 1. It skipped about 3 lengths clear. I think Aidan Coleman was just trying to make it so it jumped the last okay. It didn't really jump it that okay, but it slowed down too much, lost momentum, and then got pipped just shortly after. Got headed shortly after jumping the hurdle. Sorry, then finished third. Not beaten far, only beaten like half a length, but yeah, disappointing. But then again, we staked £50. We got £20 back, and it sent like a non-event today, in my opinion, on Wednesday. So here are the selections for Thursday. I have staked around about £65 max. Do not match me if you cannot afford it. It doesn't matter. But what I have gone for, there hasn't quite been a story yet, or a fairy tale, or I believe it could be tomorrow. First of all, well, that will be the last selection that I'm going to show you, the last bet I'm going to show you. Let me get into this first. So the first bet, I'm going to give you the list of selections. They are all each way fancies. And what I suggest is putting them basically in each ways, doubles, trebles, fourfolds, and a fivefold. And keep the stakes as low as you can, but start off with make the doubles higher, then the trebles not quite as high, then the fourfold a bit further down. So ideally you want to have a decent return if you can get a double or at least a treble. That'd be great. So here are the selections. So what I'm hoping for is there's loads of rain forecast, and there's been quite a lot come down towards the end of Wednesday's meeting. Well, it's forecast to rain. I won't say it's going to rain heavily overnight, but there's a high likelihood of rain all night. So let's get into the selections. So all these are big prices, and I think they could sneak into the frame, or at least one of them, hopefully. So let's get into it. So in the 130 at Cheltenham, I've gone for Not Long Till May and Unexpected Party. One's 40s and one's around about 80s. The next race is a 10 past 2 at Cheltenham, and I've gone for, bearing in mind, this is all at Sky Bet, paying 8 places instead of 4 this race is. I've gone for Mill Green and Takarengo. Takarengo is not an 8 to 1 chance. Basically, they've been messing around with it. It's been running over 2 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile, and it's been running fine over 3 mile. So those are the first 4 selections. So in the 250, I've gone for French Dynamite. In the next race, I've gone for Celebre d'Allen. That's in the 10 past 4 at Cheltenham, paying 7 places instead of 4. And finally, in this bet, I've gone for Coup Star Cibola in the 5:30 at Cheltenham, paying 6 places instead of 4. So let me scroll down. So let me get rid of that. So I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. Sky Bet make it impossible to kind of explain your bets because of how the position. In a minute, you're going to see singles and doubles and trebles everywhere, all spread out. Right, this is the main bet. It's a 25 pence each way Canadian. And what I suggest is you also do the each way doubles as well as the trebles, the fourfolds, and the fivefolds. But make the fivefolds minimum stake each way. What you want is you want a 25 pence each way Canadian if you're going to match me, then probably 20 pence each way doubles, lower each way trebles. So let's get into the horses. In the 10 past 2 at Cheltenham, paying 8 places instead of 4, I've gone for Mill Green. This is a Cheltenham specialist, really. It's run here loads of times, very rarely runs a bad race. Don't get me wrong, it's getting on a bit now, but I do think it could be in the first 8. The second selection is Classical Dream in the 3:30 at Cheltenham, paying 4 places instead of 3. The third selection is Celebre d'Allen in the 10 past 4 at Cheltenham, paying 7 places instead of 4. This horse ran absolute cracker last time, well, I think it was in this race last time, came from a long way behind, and it never seemed to be going that well, but absolutely flew up the home straight, up the hill. So I do think, and once again, it's that stable again, Philip Hobbs, that I don't normally buy, but I'm convinced they'll have a winner because it's their first horses together, starting from Cheltenham. Is his name Johnson White? I think White Johnson. The next selection is Foxy Girl. I've taken the price 12-1 in the 450 at Cheltenham. Note the race. It's the Jack de Bromhead Mares Novice Hurdle. Paying 5 places instead of 3. Bearing in mind, Henry de Bromhead has got several runners in this race, but I was looking through the obituary for Jack Bromhead, who is Henry de Bromhead's son, who was tragically killed. I believe it was towards the end of last year. Well, how fitting would it be for Henry de Bromhead to train the winner of his son's race? Well, how many times do you hear that where you've got the commentator, there will be tears shed crossing the line, Henry, you know what I mean? All that kind of thing. Well, Rachel Blackmore actually read something out at Jack de Bromhead's funeral. Well, she rides this horse as well. So you can just imagine when the mic's poked right in front of her face after, and there's tears flowing. I can just imagine it now. So I've gone for this horse. I have had a look at the form, and it certainly has got a chance. It's just not for sentimental reasons only. So, and you'll see the next kind of bet in a minute, and it follows the same kind of note. And the final selection is in the 5:30 at Cheltenham, and it's Coup Star Sivola. This horse is getting on, but Venetia Williams, she's very good round here, especially when it's heavy ground and it's a long distance race. I do think it could sneak a place, mainly because it could be keeping on when other horses are just pulling up. I think it could be quite horrible ground tomorrow. So those are the selections. So let's get on to right. This is the sentimental bet. This is the fairy tale bet. So what I've gone for a cracking Henry de Bromhead day. So I've gone for right. So make a note of that. I've gone for 20 pence each way trebles. So I've gone for 40 pence each way doubles, 20 pence each way trebles, and a 50 pence each way fourfolds. So here are the selection. In the 250 at Cheltenham, I've gone for Envoy Allen, and I've taken the price. In the 4:10 at Cheltenham, I've gone for 2 horses, and they are both trained by Henry de Bromhead, Marvel de Siracy and Champagne Gold. In the 4:50 at Cheltenham, once again, I've gone for Foxy Girl, but this time I've left the price. I believe if you want a cash out option, you must take all the prices. And in the 5:30 at Cheltenham, I know already that I've had multiple selections in the same race. But Royal Thief in the 5:30 at Cheltenham paying 6 places instead of 4. So those are all the selections for Cheltenham on Thursday. I know there's quite a lot to get into, so you probably have to slow this video down, stop it while you click all the horses. But take your time, try and keep your stakes minimum if you can, because don't get me wrong, a lot of these are huge prices. As the bookmakers believe, they're probably going to finish nowhere. Well, there's a good chance they might finish nowhere, but I just think the too bigger prices to leave out on some of them. And I do think we're still waiting for that story of the meeting yet, because I don't think it's quite happened yet. Yep, you had a bit of one in the last race in the national bumper. Was it John Gleeson? Is it son of JP McManus? I couldn't work out what they're actually on about, so I just turned it off after that. But there's a bigger story to come out, John. There's always a story every year. So I don't think it's Honeysuckle win again. So let's see what happens. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.